Hi, this is Melody Wilson with the Real Life team at RE/MAX Elite, and today I'm talking to you about what happened in Edmonton's real estate market for the month of November. So there's no surprise, the month of November we saw the active listings go down. And what does that mean? Does it mean that all of them sold? Not in this situation. A lot of times properties don't just come off the market because they're sold, they come off because they're expired. Expired means that the listing contract has come to an end and the sellers have chosen not to sell anymore. Maybe they've realized they can't get the money that they want out of that house, or they want to wait till next year, which in my opinion in a declining market is a very dangerous gamble to do, because you're not necessarily going to get more money come the new year. You will get more buyers in the springtime, but you're not going to get necessarily more money because the market's still showing signs of decline. For properties that have sold, they also have gone down as well. So November is no different than last November. Every year, the same time of year, market sales go down, and that's because there's less buyers out. It's cold. I know it seems crazy, but it's cold outside. It's Christmas around the corner. People start to slow down. Nobody likes moving in the winter, and they're thinking about the holiday season versus what's to come in the new year. So you'll see the number of sold come down as well, and that's also quite normal. And the stats that we've seen with our declining market, there's just less and less sold in the real estate market. So if you're wondering what kind of market this is, whether it's a buyer or seller's market, pretty sure you know what it is, but let me just give you a clue. So when we have inventory that lasts less than 3 months, we're in a seller's market. When we're anywhere from 3 to 5 months of inventory, more balanced, 5 a little bit on the high side, and 5 and over, like months of inventory, is a buyer's market. So what that means is if we didn't add any more new listings to the inventory lot and we use the average sales days on market, how long would it take to sell everything off? So we're sitting over 7 months on market, and that hasn't changed much at all. And obviously we're in a buyer's market still. The buyer's market is quite extreme because you'll see people try to take advantage and lowball offers. But then I'll tell you this is really weird. So myself and some other colleagues I've talked to, in the month of November, we actually saw multiple offers. And I saw it both on the selling side and the buying side. And when it comes to these multiple offers, it's not what you think. It's not a property that hit the market and super desirable and goes right away. It's homes that have been sitting on the market for months and prices that have changed. Maybe one price for my buyer had just changed 2 weeks prior. So you'd think that the offer would have come at the beginning of the price change, but we didn't see that until we came put an offer 2 weeks later, and we were in a multiple offer with somebody else. We thankfully were the successful winners, but multiple offers is still very much a thing. And multiple offers doesn't mean you're going to get over list price. And in actual fact, you rarely would get that, but you would get closer to what you're asking. So it's always a good thing as a seller to be getting a multiple offer. As a buyer, it's more challenging. So you're going to want to talk to a professional, like a realtor like myself, who's able to navigate you through that and educate you on how you could win and if it's worth it. Don't be scared, because it doesn't mean that you have to pay more than you want. You just want to make sure that you still have the ability to get the house that you want. I would still recommend trying, because the worst off is that you could just not get the house. So the average sold price and average days on market for the month of November was not a huge change from the month of October. So that's nothing crazy. I mean, October and November are quite similar months. The month of December will be interesting because likely, if anything, it might be even lower than November. December is the month of Christmas, and the last 2 weeks of the month, usually lawyers, they're mostly closed, and the land titles office is also closed. So there's not a whole lot of transactions that can happen. It all has to happen before December 20th. So for the condo market, the active listings has gone down, the number of sold listings has gone down from the month of October, and also the total amount of listings. So like I mentioned, for the single family market stats, the condo is no different. The condo market is still extremely soft. It is still definitely so much inventory, and there's a lot of condos you can't even give them away. So what are the condos that are selling? Condos that are selling are the new condos, that they're either the new buildings or they've been renovated. So if you sell an older condo, you're going to have a bit of a challenge, because you're going to have to sell your property for quite a bit less than probably what you want. If you're curious to know the value of your condo, please give me a call and I'd be happy to just give you that information. One of the new things that has happened with the RECA changes and the provincial government is now they're instituting free condo docs to the seller. So the condo management company has to give the sellers all the condo docs for free. Because that used to cost anywhere from $300, $500, $700 I've seen for condo docs. So that's a good change that'll help you sell your condo. However, you have to understand that with condo, we have to be really strategic on what we do in terms of selling your property. So the interesting thing is the average price of condos hasn't changed much from October that has sold. And then in terms of average days on market, it's definitely gone up. So it's gonna take you about 81 days on market average to sell your condo. If you're not priced properly, you're gonna likely sell for even less than what you originally hoped for and take even longer to sell. So that's, again, like I mentioned, condo pricing strategy is super important. If you want to get out of owning a condo, or maybe consider keeping it as a rental. So in terms of if it's a buyer's or seller's market in the condo, it definitely is still a buyer's market. In actual fact, it's 8 months of inventory, a little bit slightly down from last month. It was closer to 9 months last month. So that's interesting, but it has a lot to do too with properties coming off the market because they've tried for a year or they've tried for months and they just are at a place where they can't sell anymore, so they've decided to pull it off the market. So the overall sales for condos, most of them have sold under $200,000. That is the price point of what is actually selling for condos versus the single family home, which is the magic $300,000 to $400,000 price range, is where the sweet spot is for both single family and condos. So that's the update for the month of November. I hope you enjoyed those stats. If you have questions about how it relates to you or what you're thinking about doing in the next year in 2020, are you thinking of selling or buying? You might want to talk to me because you might think I'll sell my house and buy a new one, but not understanding how much you're actually going to get for selling your home. You want to go into the year educated on preparing yourself for that. So please give me a call and follow me on social media. Share this video with a friend. Tag a friend. Maybe you know that they're thinking of selling, they've been talking about it, and I'd be happy to help. Have a great day.